Like me, you're probably sick of playing AAA slop that exists solely to milk another installment of the same intellectual property, the same boring-ass graphics, the same repetitive gameplay style copy-pasted because it's the quickest, easiest way to make an easy buck. Or to push agendas, to tick boxes, and appeal to a minority of people that aren't going to play their games anyway. People that aren't even real gamers. Like me, you've probably been enjoying Eastern games more than Western. Where Wins Meat as an example. Indie games more than AAA budget. Trust me, I feel you, which is why I'm excited to bring to your guys' attention today, Wyldheart. Wyldheart is an upcoming co-op action RPG from a small indie studio designed specifically for busy players who want tabletop-style fantasy adventures without the massive time commitment of traditional D&D campaigns or open-world RPGs. They've confirmed smaller-scale, replayable campaigns equating to roughly 25 hours worth of story plus optional content, while being set in a mythic fantasy setting with seamless co-op that supports drop-in, drop-out play and async progression for real-life friend groups, if you guys have friends to play with anyway. Wayfinder Studios, who are the devs behind Wyldheart, are a small Swedish remote indie team of under a dozen people founded by former AAA veterans who wanted to create a handcrafted passion project inspired by tabletop RPGs. And this isn't the first time we've heard this. AAA dev team doesn't really mean much in today's landscape. They were AAA devs for a reason, were past tense. As I've come to realize though lately, these types of games tend to be much higher quality than their AAA counterparts that are more interested in churning and burning new releases as opposed to creating something long-lasting that can weather the test of time. Wyldheart was revealed at PAX East 2026 and then had a Kickstarter launch towards the end of March. It runs through May 1st with expectations of a little over $170,000. I know what you're thinking, Sticks, another Kickstarter game. I know, I understand. I'm a little distrustful of Kickstarter campaigns myself. After being burned by Dreamworld, after being burned by Ashes of Creation, so many other games that had Kickstarter campaigns, I'm now incredibly wary, not only of supporting them, I will never support another Kickstarter game ever again, but also in covering them, because at the end of the day, if you advertise a game that is a Kickstarter game, that has a Kickstarter campaign, and then your viewers support them, and then the game ends up shutting down or being canceled, and then players end up losing money, then that's essentially a direct result of you marketing the game, and then you're responsible for their players, your viewers for losing money. But at the same time, I am always going to, and I would always stress, using your own judgment here. Do not support Kickstarter campaigns. I would not advise anyone do it. But at the same time, you can look at these games and tackle them from a perspective that doesn't involve your direct involvement in it or your direct financial contribution. A lot of stretch goals have been listed: new ancestries, multiple language support, recruitable animals, which I think could be really cool. My favorite part of Pal World was collecting the pals. My favorite part of Ark Survival Evolved was actually capturing all the different dinosaurs, breeding them, leveling them, full NPC voice acting for key characters, player housing, which I know is going to appeal to a lot of people. A lot of the players that Mrs. Sticks plays Where Winds Meet with, or that we've played other survival games with, all love player housing. Factions, reputation, freely roaming world bosses, companion relationships. You know, if you want to take your journey a little more serious, a full DM mode allowing you to completely control the game. Wyldheart is set in the fallen kingdom of Carowin, a rustic mythic fantasy world infused with Fey folklore. You'll explore handcrafted towns where NPCs have lives, have stories, have daily schedules. It features hex-based overworld exploration with hundreds of handcrafted hexes per campaign, including weather and day-night cycles that affect the world. There are dungeons full of traps and puzzles, environmental interactions, and powerful enemies. I have heard that they're taking a slightly more humorous approach, citing the old Fable games as their inspiration. As a huge fan of Fable myself, Fable 1 specifically, The Lost Chapters, and A Bard's Tale, these two games are arguably some of, if not the best, old school Western RPGs ever released. So to me, this sounds like a perfect blend to achieve success. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day. on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. Combat is fast-paced, immersive, real-time action. There is no turn-based combat, no tab target combat. There are multiple class archetypes, weapon and combat styles, allowing you to quickly swap between styles like melee and range. You can cast spells, you can throw concoctions, manage your stamina, block, dodge, utilize cover to your advantage. Different weapons have different effects, meaning weapons function differently versus different enemy types. They also have durability, which encourages you to utilize more than a single style. I'm gonna be honest though, I do not like durability in games. I also do not like weight, limited weight, or limited bag space in my games. It is a convoluted feature that feels like they're forcing you to swap to weapons, swap to armor, or forcing you to run all the way back to town to deposit your inventory or to sell items. It is completely unnecessary. There are numerous ancestries like the Free Folk or the Mossling with differing visual appearances. You'll also be able to pick between a variety of different backgrounds such as Baker, Grave Robber, Exiled Noble that affect your starting gear, initial skills, and provide a lot of depth to roleplay. Beyond that, you'll find dozens of unique and individual skills across a plethora of different talent trees, allowing you to start off life as a mere peasant, and through exploration, survival, and crafting, become an absolute freaking legend. As with most survival games, Wildheart does have a functional multiplayer aspect to it. This game is built with multiplayer in mind, allowing multiple players to seamlessly play together, dropping in or out at any time. Game and server progress will be permanently online, meaning that even while logged off, the game world will persist. Wildheart is currently in alpha testing as of April 2026, with a beta expected to begin somewhere towards the end of 2027, as their beta tier pledge reward list estimated delivery December 2027. However, I've also heard people claiming that they had plans on holding a beta test shortly after their Kickstarter campaign ends in May 2026. Not entirely certain which one of these are legitimate, but keeping an eye on their socials is likely your best bet either way. Early access is planned on Steam and the Epic Games Store in 2026 as per their Kickstarter page. Wildheart is currently in alpha, and we're aiming to get it ready for early access later this year. It seems like digital keys, which are priced in 2 separate tiers, will be sent out immediately upon launch with the first campaign included. Wildheart is releasing onto PC via Steam and Epic first, with potential console releases coming after the fact, if the game is a financial success. From what I've read, it seems like there'll be some mature themes present, which makes sense if they're going the Fable route. Violence, women, men, depending on what you're into. I'm a huge fan of survival games these days, coming from MMOs myself. Survival games are what I feel are a natural progression. They have the multiplayer aspect that I love in MMOs, with added danger, survival elements, micromanagement of every aspect of your character and their growth. Palworld, Valheim, V Rising, Ark Survival Evolved, RuneScape, Dragon Wilds. These games have taken up so much of my time in recent years that I cannot wait to try out anything that might scratch that itch that I have for more. And Wildheart might just do that. This game doesn't look perfect. Honestly, it looks far from it. The game is, after all, in alpha testing, and will likely remain in early access for a couple years before it's ready. Or if you're like Ark Survival Evolved, never release out of early access. But it also has a significant potential to be something more than your churn and burn trash that so many AAA devs seem to want to push out and force down your throat these days. And I'm willing to give this a chance. I've learned never to support Kickstarter games after being burned in the past, but I'm more than happy once again lending my voice and my channel to something that might come to fruition one day for anyone that is interested. I genuinely hope this game is successful, since the more success that we find outside of the trash AAA studios continue to release, the more they'll be forced to either acclimate to the changing climate or shut down, making way for new studios to take their place. And that right there sounds like a goddamn good future for all of us. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.